This is the Real Mom Hub. Keep listening for relatable content.
You have to keep it snappy. Okay. So did you want to give me like a quick outline of the tiff that you're in with your husband, which you just let me know? So it's Sunday when we're recording. You're tiffing right now. And by your schedule, you actually won't have time to debrief and figure it out until Wednesday, the day before Christmas or Thanksgiving, the day after this episode drops, in the car on the way to Grandma's.
That's correct. What else do you want to know?
Well, you know what? I just thought it might be a really nice time to talk about our car combos little list that we compiled to help us have a more joyful and graceful
Are you going to make me my own car convo list for my little tiff? Am I a subscriber? Can I get a specialized?
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Well, we just went over that. Let's just skip to the good stuff.
All right. Well, it's Sunday. Callie's our household CEO, family CEO. She's in execution mode. So let's just dive right in. Lots to do. So we have an unusual episode. Not really unusual, but it's special. We had a family gathering a few weeks ago, and we were able to sit down in the same room with our grandma, who's almost 90. She's going to be 90 in January.
Yep, she's a badass.
She's incredible. She's honestly incredible. Obviously really formative in our lives and just full of wisdom and also
spunk and laughter.
Yeah. She's a trip. This woman is a wild ride. So Callie, you want to give our listeners a little context for who they'll be hearing in this recording?
So the recording quality may be not as great as we would like, but we just wanted it to be as relaxed as normal with Grandma, who is, as we said, almost 90. So like headphones and a microphone would be weird. So we set up our laptop in a hotel room because we were away, and we have our mother in the background and one of our sisters in the background too, and they interject sometimes. And it's just all in there. We had a great time, and honestly, this episode, I think in a large part was just to fulfill our desire to like really gain as much wisdom from her as we can, and just to, I don't know, capture a little bit of our grandma. So we're a little selfish in this episode and how we went about it. And I think that's okay. I kind of love it.
Me too. I also want part 2. And I walked out of that room feeling really grateful that we have a recording of our grandma.
Yeah, and we're laughing, and so maybe sometimes you can't even understand what we're saying because we're laughing, and hopefully that captures the spirit of just how it is to be around her. But yeah, it was really great. Our youngest sister would have loved to be there. She was in class. We were visiting her for her senior recital, and she still had to like go to class the next morning in college.
I mean, did she though? Like, I wouldn't have.
Well, no, she did. She had to accompany some people.
Okay. Well.
Sorry, no.
We missed you.
Yeah, we missed her, but yeah, that's the setup. It was great. So, do you want to sort of fill in the listeners on a little bit of Grandma's background, because we don't really explain it in the episode?
Yeah, she's had a really interesting life. And the Cliff Notes version, she has 2 kids, our mom, who's the youngest, and our Uncle Bill. Grandpa, our mom's dad, was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, I think before Mom was even born, given 6 months to live, I believe, something like that. And they had this beautiful life together, which we hear about often. He passed away.
So that would have been he was diagnosed probably in what, like early 1960s?
64?
Yeah, something like that.
Anyways, we've heard so much about this great man and never got to meet him. He passed away when Mom was 2. So we've grown up with Grandpa Steve, Grandma's current husband, and our grandpa. So just a little bit of insight on what we're talking about. Grandma was a nurse at the Red Cross for many, many years. She worked for a lot of Mom's childhood, but
she drove the truck full of other nurses around, which is just such a funny vision to me, like Grandma in charge, like, all right.
Yes. She just can plan the most elaborate, like 3-course luncheons with matching silver. I mean, etiquette.
Party
She
favors.
oh my
Mhm.
gosh. Yes. Etiquette,
Ooh.
gatherings. She's a little socialite.
She was the first woman accepted into the sailing club in Perrysburg because she
didn't know
wanted,
that.
yeah, because she wanted Mom and Uncle Bill to still be able to sail. And after our grandpa Bill died, she was like, hey, so she was the first woman to be part of the sailing club.
She gets things done.
Mm-hmm. Sure does.
Pretty fearless. Yeah, she's amazing. So we could go on and on, honestly. She's very, very classy too. Like she just has a presence. She's always put together. Really, she's an original. She's one of a kind.
Yes.
And we are so grateful she's our grandma.
Yeah. So hopefully we really capture at least part of who she is because we just think that she's the coolest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when this airs on Tuesday, we will be packing up to go to her house for the huge family Thanksgiving that she called 4 years ago. So she'll be 90 in January. And Thanksgiving's her favorite holiday. And so all of the family members, her stepkids are Aunt Krista and Uncle Eric. They're all going to be there. All the grandbabies, all the great grandbabies, her sister. It's going to be a party.
So stay tuned for the aftermath.
Yeah.
Lots of mimosas will be had.
Absolutely. Yes. Yep.
All right. Good luck
Thanks
with your
for listening.
drive.
Donuts.
Come on,
I know I'm having a chocolate one.
Yeah, where's the powdered sugar one?
So when we did this with Mom, she couldn't answer half the questions.
Yeah, I've thought of good answers since. We could go back.
Throwing so much shade.
Shade.
Wow.
No, it was amazing. She was just so like, yeah, this is what I think. Okay.
Period.
Yeah, that's correct.
It was an important question.
Yeah.
Did it
Mom
alter
thinks
your
so.
life once you heard the response?
Well, my life was altered in the 20 minutes it took to get there. And then my life was really altered, the days after that where I'm like, wow, my mother's so thoughtful. Where did I come from?
No, but you wouldn't have been having that sweet thought if you didn't feel that you had come from a person like that. Because you were having a very good thought
Really nice.
I would just say
about where you were coming from. So, yes, everything's involved. Every conversation you have is involved.
that's true.
Yes. So I have a good time in the lobby of the hotel.
And everywhere else you go.
It feels like we gotta get Naomi to like the Joffrey.
Oh, chocolate.
We all have to go in the closet and then go to the Joffrey later.
Yeah, does anyone want powdered sugar? Does anyone want powdered sugar?
Only
I
the
don't
finest
believe in
donuts.
powdered sugar
Just
donuts.
unpack the history.
Oh yeah.
Well, we don't have glaze. We have the
Call those
traditionals.
ways.
All right, Grandma, can you explain how it started?
Started many, many years ago. Started, not shorted, but started many, many years ago. When you all of you were not living yet, were you? We were in Chicago at the Palmer House. We were going to see the Nutcracker. So we went to Chicago. It was a special weekend and saw the Nutcracker. I can't remember the dancers that are in it though in Chicago.
The Joffrey?
Joffrey Ballet.
Joffrey Ballet, yes. We were in an old hotel. It had a very big room, but it had a closet that you could sit in. You could gather in the closet. So we decided to get some hot chocolate and some donuts and sit in the closet and talk about life. And talk about things that were going on with 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-olds.
My mom doesn't let me have donuts usually.
and resolved certain things. So it turned out to be a very productive gathering in the closet. And our ability to talk about life openly in the closet.
Because I was sleeping.
Yes.
I think we need to change the name.
Openly in the closet.
Yep. We're no longer the real Mom Hub.
We're just openly in the closet.
Do you have the questions?
questions for what?
They're hard.
Good questions for you. Just for some.
Oh, just like all the politicians, I like my questions ahead of time. And you've all just been through the politicians.
We all have been through the politicians.
We're still going through them.
Still going through them.
See, we have been without TV, which is just hilarious.
So since Tuesday, since you got to mom and dad, so what is Friday today? So you haven't had TV since Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Not with the responses to the results of the election.
Because it is the Friday right now after.
And yeah, the
election.
first 2 days, you would become very aware of who had been elected, why they were elected, and what was hoped for the future. Not mentioning any names, but you would have seen all of that on TV. You know, in the responses from the people or the interaction that was going on. So no, we missed all of that. So I'll be very careful when I go home to pick what friends I want to talk to about it.
Oh, why?
Because I might not like their interpretation. So if I'm going to make my own thoughts and dreams and ponderance of the next 4 years, and not particularly mine, my big concern is what's going to happen with you young ladies and with your children. And respect to me, we grew up with, and it was very important.
Of women.
So about life, about not just women, but everyone you meet on the street, everyone you'd meet in a bus, everyone you'd meet in a cab, just the man standing on the corner asking for $1. It would be a whole different interpretation. And that's important. People are people and they need to be treated with respect, no matter who, where, when, or why.
So you were hoping to form your own.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. To have some background feel for what had followed through within the United States, within the neighborhoods, within different groups of people. And all of that would have been reflected because there was so much, I assume there was so much on. And they were not, what do you call it, going through and altering any of it. It was coming fresh when it was coming from the TV right after.
So maybe not necessarily in regards to politics, but how do you see your life now compared to what you imagined your life would be when you were little? Like life is very different now, right?
Of course it is. But you all know why. During what war was it that I told you I couldn't remember because it would have been your grandfather, the man I went to kindergarten, I married at 22. He was an extremely special person. And there was a war that happened in the early 60s, which I was part of a book club and we were discussing it later. And I said, I can't remember any of that because in 63, that husband was diagnosed with cancer and said he had 6 months to live. I was 5 months pregnant with your mother and I had a 2-year-old at home. So all of that was going on in my head. We had just gone to Charleston, West Virginia, purchased a property on the river, and all excited about moving because of this position there. He was going in as the assistant supervisor of a large company. So we had just moved everything and sold the house in Toledo. So we had to figure out what to do with what was left with his life, how to enjoy it and make the most of it, what to do with the new baby that was coming. And then the 2-year-old was a young man who never had a father because he was 2 and the dad did live until he was 4, but there was never any interaction because the father was so sick and he had a baby sister and we were being transferred back to Toledo then. Thank heavens the company was very good, transferred us back. We could get settled back in the hometown that we had family and friends in. So that in some respects was a blessing, but I couldn't remember whatever war that was going on at that time in the early, which war?
The Vietnam War.
Vietnam. I don't remember what book we were even reading at book club then. They kept saying you can't, this, when the war was going in, they were talking about nursing in the book. I wasn't getting a lot out of it because the time that book was written was a whole different life for me. So yeah, how did we get there?
Well, I asked how your life has
Oh,
turned
it's
out
turned
compared to
out.
what you imagined.
I've been very blessed with a religion. I grew up in faith that is very encompassing and welcoming, and could find an answer through a priest or a religious friend or through a Catholic school that would help me adjust to each thing in life. So having that was a blessing, and it walked you through difficult times then. So I, at this time in my life, pray for people that cannot pray, because prayer to me has been and continues to be a blessing. And where do you go if you can't pray? If you can't find a superior being that's not really judging you, where do you go? So yes, for that reason, I've been blessed with that, and I've met some very interesting people in my life. And have learned from every situation. So with a plus and a minus from what you have learned, you asked me.
I loved it.
It's your delivery more than anything. It was just really stellar.
So funny.
But I'm not going to talk about it all, because then people will talk about me differently if they go all.
Okay, we'll ask you a nice question. When have other women showed up for you?
Oh, always. Always. A mother, a sister, my children, now my grandchildren bring me joy. But another intimate, you're asking me, during this difficult time in my life, who was helping me with that? Mary, the Blessed Virgin, which is not what you're looking for, but that's where I am. And I did have wonderful sisters, very caring sisters whose lives have changed, and some very, very dear, dear friends that have stayed with me from high school.
Yeah, how long did you have slumber parties?
We had slumber parties until 4 years ago, and I'm 89 now, 85. These were every summer we gathered for a slumber party, and when the family started selling.
They got that stink about them. You stop sleeping on.
When the cottages and families started going, then we ended up in homes overnight, just overnight. But that group of people were like my prayer group that I was part of for 47 years until COVID. The prayer group met once a week on Tuesday morning. We had a priest from St. John's that started, but then St. John's grew and grew. That's a high school in town. As it grew, we kind of lost the priest and we lost the space. We moved into homes. So we still met every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. And we not only had prayers, but we had a period of time afterwards with coffee and donuts, and the ability to talk about anything that was a problem in our life at that time. And these were people with religious caring backgrounds that listened and would maybe contribute to the conversation, but nothing ever left that gathering. No matter what you talked about, it was not discussed beyond that. But it was the option to verbalize a problem you were having, and just to be able to verbalize certain things, alter them, and make you think. When you're saying it out loud, you're thinking about what you considered truly the problem and what was going on. And by hearing it, even yourself saying it to this group of people, made it very alive and very much part of your life. And so you could listen to what they responded and walk away with thoughts and think it through by yourself, but know that it was not going anywhere beyond. And not everyone has that, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have. So yes, those women altered my life. And after that many years, 2 of them are still living. We don't gather on Tuesday morning anyway. Well, I have a little problem with COVID. I have a little problem with God and COVID. And so why? Why did we have COVID? Why could COVID come in and alter our lives so much and never return them to what we had before. And there's never a way to put it all back to where it had been 4 years prior than COVID. So I still haven't figured it all out, and I'm still thinking about it. But there had to be a reason. Nobody just sent me a notice and said, "This is why it's happening. Be prepared."
But you'd like one for next time.
Absolutely. I
whoever's in
prefer
charge of
there
that.
not
So
be
God,
a
if you're
next time.
listening,
You got
Yes. Because what else would ever alter as much as that altered? Just removing you from society for 2 years, which is what it did. And you just can't have it back. It would be nice, but it just, maybe you all have had it come back, but I haven't at my age. It's just, well, a lot of people aren't left. So,
we're not laughing. Who's
they're up
laughing?
above parade.
So Emily and I have talked about having a community of women, and we've talked about like the word village, like wanting to build our village of women and people, but women specifically, and how we're not as good at that in our generation as I think your generation was, because I think we have a harder time being vulnerable with people. And so it just our generation, and I don't know about yours, mom's in the background.
We did not have television. I was out of high school and we got a television
Yeah.
set at our house. We did not have the cell phones that they have now. You had to get on the public phone and ask the party line to get off so you could make a phone call. It was just a whole different world than you children are growing up in. And I don't know how you can build confidences with people that you're not having really just a one unit gathering with them that's not going to go home and get on the phone, or the phone's not going to call in the interim, or you're not going to pick up the computer and think, oh, we talked about that this morning. I don't need to talk about it now. I don't know. You live in a whole different life of electronics than we do. And it's not just you, it's your whole family. I mean, it's everyone you're associated with has this whole interruption of life that we did not have. So it's yeah, I can see it would be very difficult to build a family of women like that. I don't know if you're blessed to have sisters
Yep.
that you can discuss things with, and you know that their background and they're somewhat similar to yours, not completely, but each one of you have had different experiences and handle them different ways. So you have a different interpretation of life. So you are blessed with that. To find a very dear friend, and everybody moves a lot now, which they never used to. So to develop and retain that relationship, you might do it on the computer, but that's open to the public. Anyone who wants to can get on the computer and pick up whatever discussions you had. So I don't know how you build a close knit, confident, quiet family of women not in your family.
How did you find your peer group?
We had children at St. John's High School, which is an all boys high school in town. It was the first one that came. Your mom's dad went to a all boys Jesuit high school outside of Toledo. We did not have one. His family, in their background, they went to Campion High School in Prairie du Chien. And so the dad, who was a physician, went to Campion. So he wanted his boys to Campion, since we did not have a Jesuit all-male high school in Toledo. So they did, and I went to an all-girls high school. It was afterward, though, that we had children then in the Jesuit high school that had been built in Toledo. We all had young men, sons, in this high school, and just had met at Mass once in a while at the high school. And then a priest offered to do with us once a week a reading, because we were all the same type of people attending the Mass that we went to. I mean, we'd be giving the same responses, we'd be giving the same. So we were put together actually through having our children together in high school. It was 6 women at that time. And it just, when St. John's had continued to grow, and we no longer had room there, and the priest got too busy, to work with us on Tuesday morning, then we moved into the homes. And that's how we ended up having still Tuesday morning. I worked but could take the day off. And I don't know whether any of the others worked outside the home.
So these women just walked with you through so many things in life for so many decades.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you have things in common with them, do you think? Like, I'm thinking about friends you'd call up for a good time to go to the pool with you.
There's
that relationship. Were these women, did you have friendships outside of the prayer group too?
Absolutely, because the women I went to high school with, we had a group of women from high school, and there were 5 of us in that also, and we always celebrated New Year's Eve together. If we had a husband by then or didn't, had a male friend or didn't, it was the men and women who gathered in this group from this 5 women that gathered every New Year's Eve for New Year's Eve celebration. It was a formal dinner. We had a standing rib. The men wore tuxes if they had them. The women wore beautiful gowns.
I love
And
it.
we did it you didn't have to worry about what you were going to do on New Year's Eve because you knew you had a gathering with
That's
this
where
people.
you had that outfit that Grandpa bought you.
A crop top, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was black.
It showed him
Gauzy.
midriff.
It was a little like Aladdin-y.
Yes.
gorgeous.
Yes.
Beautiful.
That
Yes.
he picked out for you, and you said, "Well, we'll have those for New Year's." And I was like, "Well, that's not the kind of New Year's I usually have."
Well, it had a jacket.
Okay.
It was a gold brocade jacket. Yes. I don't know what I did with the jacket. Well, I don't know what I did with the
I don't
top
think I
either.
ever saw the jacket.
No, but
She
I always
ditched
see
that.
you didn't see me on New Year's Eve. That's
I
why.
didn't.
But you knew if it was going to be at your house. That you knew what it was a standing rib, but with a always the same menu. It was just very, very comforting and easy. Because you didn't have to think about reservations or where were you going to go or who were you going to be with or were you going to be with anybody. Because some people I have found later in life and just in the past maybe 5 to 10 years that there are so many lonely people in the world that we live in. And I think because of modern technology, they can only become lonelier because they don't have gatherings like they used to have. The afternoon bridge groups, the afternoon teas. And I feel very sad that they are lonely, not even within the group of people their age, but within families. I go out to take care of your Aunt Marmar. She is in a place she has dementia. She's in a facility and they have happy hour every Thursday, and you know where your grandma is on Thursday afternoon.
Absolutely.
She's at happy hour at St. Clair. But by going Aunt Marmar's been there 4 years. By going for 4 years, some of these women and men and women at happy hour have become my friend. And because I am the only odd person they see, the only person, they don't have family visiting because I've been there at different times and no one's ever in their room. There's never any sign of activity in these rooms. So it was about, I don't know, a month or two because of not feeling well. I missed the Thursday afternoon gathering. And I was amazed when I went back the following week how many people, where were you? We missed you. So looking in, there are a number of people. As soon as I walk into the happy hour, I wait and they give me my wine later, but I speak to each and every one of these 4 people in wheelchairs that I feel are lonelier. How can you be in a community with people and be lonely? And they are, because they don't have any family coming. There's not a lot of interaction between the young people that are working there and the people that are residents there. And most of the residents are not at the age or in the disposition to be friendly with the other people there. Yes, so the past number of years, it makes me feel sad because there are so many lonely people and there's no need to have that many lonely people. But I can't send my friends because half of them are dead.
I mean, yeah, you're the oldest sibling. You're really just outlasting a lot of.
Okay, back to the belly
Thank
dancer
goodness.
outfit.
Oh, I had a belly dancer, and I had a record to do a belly.
Did Grandma buy you that?
You want to borrow it?
Wait, you have the record player. Didn't you just take the
I
record
got
player?
Grandma's record player. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sadie needs the record.
I meant your New Year's Eve dance, or your New Year's Eve outfit, but what are you talking about?
It's good exercise.
It is, that's true. That's so funny.
That is
Okay,
incredible.
my question is, what makes you feel beautiful?
I don't think about that.
What? You're
Thank you.
so.
You guys
Yeah,
are
that was
so
one of the
humble.
ones.
I think about what makes me beautiful all the time.
Yeah, but
I just lounges on the bed looking
So
at
good.
me.
Sorry, I do. It's not hard, but I do.
Natural.
you're so stylish. You have a belly dancing.
Yeah,
You've
I'm
always been so stylish.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So why were you doing that then, if not to feel beautiful?
The dance?
No, we know that was for exercise. No, you've always been so put together.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's nice.
So where does that
Let me
come
go through
from?
my closet.
I
got a lot
have,
of stuff
I
to get rid of.
have so many times, and I love it every time.
Thank you. Come again.
Well, so how do you put that much energy and you have such a good eye and all that time and effort into making yourself so presentable? Why do you do it if it doesn't make you feel beautiful? If you're not thinking about feeling beautiful?
I'm not thinking about being beautiful. Whatever I do because of the people I'm going to be with also. It makes me feel good if I present well to them and if I remember that they are human beings. I have fun in like lobbies downstairs. Most of those people don't even think that you're going to do anything or be anything or that you're even there. And if you speak to them, most of them just brighten up and they're so excited to think somebody recognizes that they were here. So I don't think about the other aspect of it. Although I thought I brought with me today, a long time ago, I had a trip to, with one of you children or somebody, to what's that place where you learn how to wear cosmetics? Merle Norman. So I left Merle Norman's with a whole bag of stuff
Nice.
for my eyes.
Wasn't this before one of our cousins' weddings?
It might have been.
I think.
I think she's trying to point out she's not wearing eye makeup right now.
I don't know how to wear it. I went home with a whole bag of expensive stuff, and I think it might be outdated now. But I thought when I came this time, I was bringing this bag from Merle Norman, so I should show you what I ended up with here. It wasn't the bag from Merle Norman. I was going to let you teach me how to just do this now and do this and this now. So I can cover up the bags and I won't have to wear my glasses all the time. I wear my glasses to cover up the bags. I learned that when I just went to PD. No, not PD. Where did I go?
PT, yeah. Physical
I went to
therapy.
PT. And when I'm doing the exercises, because I was having some problems. And you have to look in a mirror. You know, when some of them you have this bar and you have to do some of them, I looked and I thought, oh my God, that can't be me. And it was. So I immediately learned to wear my glasses. So I take my glasses with me whenever I have to look in a mirror because it covers up the double bags. And that's just part of life. But I brought it, I wanted to bring it because I wanted you to teach me how to wear more.
Wait,
I have to do it
Thanksgiving. So I'll be
sometime.
there in Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Okay.
makeup party.
Okay, we
I
can
have to learn too. You and I can learn from these
Okay, you
two.
know what else I want to learn? Do you, I go into the store and I tell all the, do you wear false eyelashes?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Don't you love it?
Said,
Wait,
yeah, give me that
We're
stuff.
all wearing false
Oh.
teeth to
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
no. The what?
Let's all wear them for Thanksgiving.
Oh, I love it, but I don't know how the woman at the, I go into the Final Cut Grandpa Steve's special place. And the woman who, services us there wears them.
Should we clarify it's a steakhouse?
And she does serve them.
You're sober.
Just to be clear.
But she says she just buys them, glues them on.
Yeah.
Well, it does make the
It
eyes
just-
look beautiful.
It's a heavy hitter. I'm gonna say it's just a heavy hitter. Kind of makes
Eyelashes.
everything else flow together. Yep. Yeah.
It is, but even to buy them to glue on, I thought they were expensive.
They can be.
I thought $30 and $40 for a set of
Okay,
earrings.
we're doing this for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'll glue some falsies on you for Thanksgiving.
Okay, kids,
Some
I'll be
eyelashes.
ready.
We'll all get them. We'll put some on Grandpa Steve.
I'm curious.
See if he
stop.
notices, though.
Yours
I
or
knew.
his?
Incredible.
Okay, but you don't have to put color on them or anything, right? You
No,
just,
they just hang out like all the time.
and you can
Go
buy
down that way,
different
you go up
colored
that
ones,
way.
right?
You could do that.
Do you want
some
blue or
in it?
something?
Yeah.
No. But the only reason I know that is because I was tempted to go and get some glue and try to put them on.
Wow, Grandma's ready for this.
Yeah.
Well, the eyelashes, I just think that does a whole different thing.
Yeah. Do we have any? Oh, should we ask our last question?
You never
Oh,
asked
Are you
her-
asking me
matriarch?
formal
All right, Grandma.
questions?
No.
Oh,
It's a
good. This
power.
is not being taped.
Actually, we have 3 different devices taping us right
But
now.
we don't have to. We don't have to share it if you don't want us to share it.
Big
Well,
shoes.
you decide what is respectable, because you know your Uncle Bill said I lost my filters.
I love it.
I
A
love
year
it.
ago.
I think
Okay,
it's great.
then-
And that's
no
why you
filter.
children know when you call and I talk too long, you're supposed to say, "Oops, Grandma, answer the door."
I know someone's at the door.
Someone's here.
Okay.
You're speaking to a new generation of matriarchs. What do you hope that we as matriarchs bring to this new generation?
That is not a word I normally associate with women, with mothers, with a lot of responsibility. I think maybe the King and Queen of England, but
A little stuffy for you.
and it is a position you all hold, but it's not a position I recognize in you. I would not look at you and say, "Oh, are you being a good matriarch?" I look at you and think, are you being a good parent? Are you directing your child, if you have children, in the right way? If you do not have children, if you're taking care of the neighbors in the correct way, in the world that we're living in, are you being a female representing your sex? And I don't even care at this stage in age, and your children did not ask me about this, but matriarch and thinking about what families are going through with mixed families now. I've forgotten the name of it, but there's so much division in sexuality. Are you a boy or are you a girl? Or what is your status? Or what pronoun do you want used for you? And I did not grow up in that world, but you are growing up in that world. And I went across the street the other day to one of our neighbors to take a Diwali, which is an Indian holiday gift, over to them. And the young woman that answered the door was just delightful. And she said to me, "I will share this with my wife." And to me, 5, 10 years ago, I would have been aghast. I would have run home and said, "Oh, Steve, you wouldn't believe this." But I thank God, truly thank God, that was an acceptable thing for me to hear and an acceptable thing for me to do, because you're still working with these people that are now acceptable within a small range of people, but they need to be accepted by everyone, because if that's who they are, then that's who they are. So I just think you all have a lot to work with the world that we're living in now, and how you're accepting it and how you're handling it. If that's considering being a matriarch, I don't know, because I don't think of you that way. I think of you as females and human beings with good backgrounds, with caring people around you, and what you give to other people is extremely important, and especially your children. Those with children, I pray they get good direction from the right places in how to raise those children, and for the children to have openness with their parents as to what's happening at school, what's happening anywhere, so that you can respond in a respectable way, because you've all been educated well and you have the tools to walk these children through the problems that they're going to have now.
Yeah, it's a heavy hitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here's a fun one. Last one. Ready? What is a trait about yourself that is aging like fine wine?
Oh, that's interesting. My husband.
It's not about you.
Plot twist of 2024.
So Grandpa Steve is aging like fine wine. What about you?
It's got to be one of your traits.
Oh, God, I get up in the morning and I go to bed.
Pretty good.
I don't know what to tell you. I feel blessed that I can still walk, that I can still think. Thank you. Know that there are so many things that with age, because I am old. I am 89, and not too many in my family have grown to that. Not too many in my family would be able to drive, to walk to church, to just live in the world that we're in and try to accept the world that we are in now. So I have to think about that. I'll call you tomorrow.
Perfect.
Have some car time to think.
So, yes, children.
Thanks, Grandma.
No problem, my kids. Thank you. Now I'm going to think about what I'm happy about or what I'm maturing well with.
Yeah.
I'll let you know sometime soon. I don't cook enough now. I love to cook.
You're a great cook.
And I don't, I used to get up at 6 in the morning so I could make cookies for the mailman. And I didn't need a recipe. Now if I get up at 6 o'clock to make cookies for the mailman, because he's been extra specially nice to me with deliveries and other things, I have to pull out a recipe. So I think that that's very interesting. I don't think been around enough old people to realize that you lose a lot of those things that you take for granted.
You're just making room for other things.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. Where are my shoes?
Brunch?
Brunch.
Thanks,
Good
Grandma.
morning,
Thanks,
Grandma.
Call me anytime.
Oh,
You've been listening to The Real Mom Hub. Our music is by Naomi O'Leary. You can find us on social at The Real Mom Hub. We're not the authority or even very educated on the medical issues discussed. Do your own research, talk to an expert, make your own decisions, and call us if you learn anything new.
If you like what you hear, follow us on Instagram, or better yet, subscribe to our newsletter. If you don't, that's fine. We can all move on. Our purpose here is community, so if we've resonated with you, tell a friend.
Thanks for listening.
We're back. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed that convo with Nancy Farber.
Grandmama. If you are enjoying this show, if you could share it with a friend or leave us a rating or a review on whatever platform you listen to, that's really, really helpful. And we are on social media at The Real Mom Hub, Instagram, TikTok.
Anything you'd like to hear from us. We've had so much fun speaking with our family members, and we've got so many powerhouse women. We're really grateful to have the time to interview and share their wisdom with you. However, we will be moving into our community and doing some more interviews with professionals.
Non-blood.
Yes, yeah, it's coming. So please do let us know what you're enjoying, what you want more of, what you don't like, anything you're curious about.
Send all that to Emily.
We love your feedback. Again, you can find us on socials or through our webpage, our website.
And if you want your car convo conversation starter for your holiday travels, where do we find that?
You can find that in the link in our bio on Instagram. You can find it on our website. We'll link it in the show notes as well.
Perfect. Because I can never find the links in the bio. I'm just going to say that.
On
People are always
Instagram?
like, find it on my bio. I can't find it. So find it in the show notes. I'm serious. This is a real problem. Okay.